get Rhapsody. I feel like she's one of the more underestimated heroes now as well. She was like top tier pick during the start of season 3, and then she has dropped off for some reason.
Just, yeah, that was one of those kind of just. It's almost like, wait, why did that happen? We don't really know for certain.
I don't know, some people learn to counter it in a way, and I mean, if you play it every single game more or less, I mean, you know how to play around it, and therefore people get more accustomed to counter it, and therefore they're not going to pick it up. But I mean, it's still a very viable hero, and I don't know, he got the highest physical armor value of all supports, except maybe Andromeda and Engineer, but they got a significantly lower attack range. So I mean, this girl, she can ox out any suicide hero. She's gonna win any 1 versus 1 situation in the early levels. There is like really no way to hurt her whatsoever. She got that, what is it, 2.88 armor. Yeah, it's such a high number, and combined with the staccato and the Disco Inferno, it's just, you can't take her down 1 versus 1. So she's the optimal or support in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, one of those ways to stop her though is definitely a bubbles, and you see Recent Gaming, they respond with one. So let's see.
Where are they going to run that bubbles though? They can't run a suicide bubbles versus the Rhapsody because of that reason that I just said. I mean, the physical armor and the staccato and all that kind of stuff. So they have to run a bubbles in the mid now, and that kind of indicates that it's going to be an offensive tri lane versus or for Recent Gaming, and therefore, I mean, Mint can prepare for that already.
Yeah.
Shouldn't give up those kind of things too easily, like whether or not you're going offensive and defensive. This is the third pick, so it's not a big deal. But some teams, for example, they pick Behemoth first pick, and that just indicates directly that you are going defensive. You're not going to run an offensive Behemoth, and then you can pick up a hero like Puppet Master, for example, for your safe lane, because you know for a fact that the enemy team is going to have a solo suicide, because you already know that they're playing defensive if they have a Behemoth. So you can pick up a strong 1 versus 1 hero as Puppet Master and therefore secure your safe lane by just committing one hero. You have already won one lane. So yeah, never try to show off whether or not you're going offensive or defensive in the first like 2 picks at least.
Yeah, a little too early. So, well, yeah, they get the bubbles, but Cthulhu Font coming out in response here for Mint so far. Iceland Go-Go, he plays a fantastic elephant, so I'm sure it'll end up in his hands and eventually be in that jungle role right here. So the follow-up bans now taking place. Tremble, Valkyrie, Malakin, Clanks coming out. Very heavy carry for both sides. I mean, both sides definitely still looking for the carry option, of course. So we'll see what that ends up playing. Yeah, head-to-head. Obviously, reiterating that, this is the first time they played one another here. This is the first series, at least. So, and it happens to come down to the wire with, again,
the Night Hound.
Yeah?
I don't know. I don't know. I see the synergy. I mean, Magma's got that AoE stun, great for setup, but bubbles, kelp field, smoke bomb. Kind of like it's not as good as the firewall or the Kraken ultimate, but still like it still traps the enemy team together, so they can't really escape it in the same way. I don't know. It could work out, but if they're going for that offensive tri lane, but at the same time as seeing as Mint counterpick the Ophelia with the Cthulhu Font, it kind of narrows it down and it kind of forces Ophelia to go his own forest instead. But what are they going to pick down for suicide? I really hope that this is not a support Magnus, because it's just not working for a reason.
Well, yeah, but they don't have many options, do they? Because like if they do pick another suicide hero here, and then they're either left with running a Magnus farm short lane with another true support, or running a Magnus support with something else.
It's really tricky. I'm not sure what they were thinking with that Bubbles versus Rhapsody. I mean, they already had a Midas, so they knew for a fact that he was most likely going to be mid, because that's, I mean, Krak is one of Krak's signature heroes, and he has been running it mid already in this series, so they should have more or less seen that coming. Maybe they're not aware of the fact that Rhapsody completely rapes Bubbles, more or less, so I don't know. Dr. Pulsar, what? Okay, so they got the take. Alright. Yeah, it's a suicide bubbles at least. But okay, Dr. Pulsar, I'm surprised that actually made it through the bannings or the banning picks. Didn't pay attention to that, but that's a kind of hero that we usually see first or second picked.
I was going to say, they could run the support Ophelia. We can finally see it now. That's not going to happen.
Almost like not a Soul Stealer on top of that. Yeah, that's another kind of hero that you know for a fact now that the Bubbles is suicide. So, I mean, Soul Stealer is also the kind of guy who just eats Bubbles alive.
Yeah.
So now they can even put Rhapsody in the mid if they want to, and therefore win 2 lanes more or less. It depends though. I mean, Magnus and another stunner can still be very deadly, but Bubbles is gonna suffer, and he doesn't have the potential to roam mid either because he doesn't have that stun.
Yeah. Well, final pick for either side. About 20 seconds or so remaining. Zane has never played Bubbles. Yeah.
That's true, actually. I've never seen him play that, not even in scrims. Oh yeah, Owen is gonna play the Suicide. Wait, what?
Okay.
The support Ophelia!
Is it actually gonna be a... No, it's not.
No, it's going to be a support Magnus, I guess, but I just don't like it. It's not working out too well for them. And now it's the hard support on top of that. Scout, like, really? Okay, I guess they saw the fact that you can't have Bubble Suicide. I mean, they came to the conclusion that they made a mistake, and now they're trying to repair it in some way, but I don't know, is Scout really that much better? Is he going to be able to do anything versus a Soul Stealer? Answer is no.
You know what they should do here? They should run a Jungle Doctor, an Ophelia True Support with a Scout short lane, and a Magma Suicide with a Bubbles mid. I figured it out.
Nice.
That's not going to happen.
Okay, Keeper of the Forest here now as well. Yeah, this lineup is looking really strong for the Hellbourne side. I don't know what's going on with Reason's lineup, but this is for the Grand Finals last game for the DreamHack qualifier spot and the #1 seed at DreamHack.
Exactly. I'm glad you really brought that up too, because this is seeding purposes as well. This is not just we're qualified, so at least we're good, and that in itself is obviously a good feeling. But yeah, this means you'd be the #1 seed going into DreamHack, and that's a pretty big deal. As far as how things set up, and going into what I assume is going to be group stage. I don't know if there's a format really planned just yet, but yeah, no matter, it's going to give you some advantages. Is the point, being that #1 seed. So yeah, there's several reasons. Definitely wanting to win this, even though there's 4 more qualifiers. You wanna take care of business here. So here we go. We got game number. So the Keeper of the Forest pickup here from being played by Zibe. So. Obviously, again, Zibe, he's been playing a lot more the carryish, more the aggressive heroes, and he has played a couple of times a Keeper of the Forest that I can recall, but we always say it just doesn't feel like his kind of hero. So there is a little bit of that concern for me there, but he is going to be playing it nonetheless. And as a team, it does make sense when it comes to the team, obviously, of Mint, but.
Yeah, they got a lot of synergy overall. They are very dependent on the farm of this Soul Stealer, but seeing the draft from recent gaming, I feel like they can, safely assume that Soul Stealer is going to have a good game or some nice farm at least early on. And I think that we supposed to play the Keeper of the Forest last week, and as well, I can't remember versus who it was, but it was successful at least, so we know for a fact that he can do it. Or maybe it was versus Nullstone.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. Don't remember. All the matches blend, man. So, Keeper, he's going to end up Suicide again. No shocker there. And the lane should end up how really kind of expected now that as far as the draft finishing. So, main support Magnus, though. Don't expect a portal key on him early on in this game. And again, if that's the case, then Magnus definitely is his power definitely goes down a little bit. And actually, Scout, he mistimed this a little bit. I still think he might be fine, but...
No, he's not going to go for it.
He's not even going to go for it. He's just going to block this campus step. But yeah, he got up there a little late and wasn't able to do a pull, so... It's a little unfortunate, and what's already pretty difficult for him, it's just going to be that much worse now because of missing that pull chance right there.
Yeah, all right. So they have the Rhapsody up here at the start at least. There's going to secure some early last hits for the Soul Stealer, I would say. But as soon as he gets those shards or charges up, or the souls up on his passive, then I would assume that he's going to transfer to the mid and he has to completely box out the bubbles from the mid lane.
Oh. Yeah, Rhapsody now coming in again. He has the invis, he has the vanish, so he's not really concerned. And actually, he's playing it pretty aggressive too.
Sam's playing really well so far. I mean, as long as you can keep those souls from Soul Stealer, the better.
Yeah, not an easy task, but He's doing somewhat decent here early on, but see right there, Probusto starting to add up, and once those souls start to add up, those auto attacks become pretty hefty. And actually, Scout's going to take some staccato stuns from Rhapsody in the meantime as well. So, yeah, we'll keep glimpses on that and see how the creep farm and whatnot continues to add up. But that's enough of that there at the top lane now. It is Bubbles versus Midas in the middle lane. Bubbles is currently looking at a 3-1 creep farm versus a Midas who's 8-3, so still really early, only 2 minutes in fact. But Midas definitely having the better time here. Cracking on the Midas yet again. Bubbles being played by Owned Me, of course.
Yep, got a little bit of a higher attack damage. It's quite equal, but Midas just winning it by 4 damage or something. But I mean, as soon as he hits level 4 as well, Bubbles got to take cover, and I know that Owned Me is a very good Bubbles player, one of his significant or special heroes. He plays it all the time in team matchmaking. He just loves to play it, so hopefully he can show us some very nice, unique plays this game.
Now, this is, I wonder if they're going to try to force Midas to maybe go back to base, and Scout's going to cut him off. Or no, he's getting the courier. That's what he's doing.
Oh,
but
yeah,
look at what
smart.
They're doing with the courier, though. They're keeping it back. They fly it, and look at Midas. He's even running back. So they have an idea that this could be happening. That's
nice
a
heads up.
very good heads up, yeah. That could have been really deadly if that courier got picked off. Very, very good presence of mind there. From Fresh. Obviously, he's been missing for a little bit at the top lane, and I'm sure that's kind of what gave them the info, if anything. Bubbles.
This sync, this Scout here, he is, disturbing the Gustafsson farm a little bit. Blocking his hard camp and all that kind of stuff. Trying to snipe the courier, it's cute, or it's a sweet, smart place, but in the end, the last pick is Scout, and that's the kind of that's the hero you pick up when you know the entire Hellborn draft, so you know exactly what was coming your way, and they still decide to go with this greedy Scout who's very dependent on those early items like the Ghost Marchers and stuff to roam around effectively, and I don't know, feels too greedy from Reason's side.
No, absolutely, and Soulsteer is not having any issues at this point now. Not that he even was, but yeah, his souls are maxed out. They've been maxed out for a little bit. He's 25-13. He's farming 367 gold per minute. So clearly, again, Scout's trying to be active elsewhere, which definitely is a potential power of his. With that invis, of course, actually, he's going to pick up the double damage runner to protect it. He gets it right in front of Midas. Look at that. And now he's going to open. Scout takes a transmute, though. Trample on top of that. He doesn't have another vanish up for another 10 seconds. If everyone's down, it doesn't even matter. Bloodlust kill for Krake when it's all said and done. So just as I was about to start praising Zane, unfortunately he gets picked off. So just
well played by Krake. Nice communication between him and Iceland Gogo as well, like a 12-hunt. Making the right decision, mining up and getting the first spot. That's a really big kill. 350 GPM now, and as we've seen as well, Rhapsody has transitioned here to the mid lane to try to box out the Bubbles a little bit instead.
Yeah, this is definitely feeling pretty good for Fresh here early on, especially with that too. Bubbles middle lane, he's going to be fine again, but take some more pressure from Midas right there. You can tell, again, bottom lane, Keeper's level 5, and he's 13-1 creep farm. Again, not the biggest, but at least he's level 5, and you compare that to Scout, he's level 2 still. He's having a much better time, but there's obvious answers as to why. Keeper's going up against a Magmus support, where Scout's going up against a Rhapsody Soul Stealer, so definitely makes sense. Yeah. And he missed the pull initially. So, yeah, it's just so many things that are just why Zane's having a very, very tough start here.
He is going to get a lot of experience now, at least. Small things going his way, but I'm not sure where Kitolfant and Rhapsody is up here. Are they trying to go for a kill? Is it going to be successful?
Yeah, they're diving.
Really nice silence by Zane.
Oh, Soul Stealer!
No, oh my God! He's looking at
creep. He couldn't go in there. And actually will be killed. No one, the Legion as a whole gets credit to split that gold, but then at bottom lane, Keeper, he's gonna go down. So actually, a couple of pretty significant kills there for Reason.
That's a real nice momentum boost right there and moral boost for in Reason Gaming. That literally turns everything around. They were probably feeling pretty iffy about this, and then that happens, and they're just like, moral boost right up. Everyone keeps talking again. Communications starts working, and yeah, those kind of things means a lot more than just the kills on paper.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, Magma's chasing on this Midas, but Nothing successful, but the
Zane
rune
is in
control.
trouble at the top lane. He's going to get killed off again.
Yeah, he is. There's no chance. They clearly, they have the dust ready to go, and then went on. They're definitely addressing Zane up here on Scout, and he's 3 deaths now to start. Obviously, he's been all 3 of the kills in favor of Mint. So, what can he do though? He can't really go elsewhere. Maybe farm the jungle a little bit, but then you take away from Ophelia to an extent. So, not much he can do. Root at the bottom lane used. Oh, he was going for a kill on Doctor. That's why Doctor is kind of low, but I think he might have. It was just out of range actually. So. He ends up getting.
We're looking at a bottle Doctor Repulsor saved him as well, though, so very interesting approach.
They're going to try to do some damage here. Not going to be enough, though, I don't think, yeah.
Tankafet is coming in from behind, though. If they commit with the dust on Magnus, I don't know. Magnus is the only one with the dust, though. They have to go.
Doctor goes in. There's a stomp. Again, no dust.
Rev
The Rev Ward finally goes down, and they will get the kill, but okay, they are going to be fine, yeah. Took a while.
Nope. Sure, that was a close by. Oh, actually, we might have spoken too soon. Ophelia's gonna go down here.
No,
there's no way she's gonna. Oh wait, Ophelia's touch. Yeah, it's not gonna matter.
Maybe. Oh, missed!
Or...
Oh my God, he's gonna live and turn it.
Tankafet!
The movement from Tankafet, superb right there. He avoids the transmute and he helps turn it as he gets the support. Unbelievable movement.
Wow.
Sidestep King. What? That was beautiful.
It's the Cariphilia once again. A parasite incoming.
Yeah. Oh,
no, Tankafet is really on point with his Ophelia today. I mean, he hasn't lost a single game so far with it, and I mean, not sure. I mean, he's 300 GPM today, or in this game, and yeah, looking pretty good now. When Reason finally starting to get those kills.
Yeah. Soul Stealer gets a sustainer here, first item. So it looks like Probusk is actually going to be going to Nullstone.
Yeah, it makes sense because the Joker Repulsor is gonna jump in, and that's like so deadly for Soul Stealer. And on top of that, they got the Scout ultimate, so there's a lot of time or things that he can actually disjoint.
Yeah.
As well as Joker Repulsor always picks up a Health Flower or Sheep Stick eventually, so he's just preparing for that as well.
Bubbles was trying to TP out somewhere, but actually got stopped with the transmute, so not a kill by any means, but will prevent him from going where he wanted to go. And instead, he'll have to fall all the way back to base in the end, so well played right there.
Not sure about this decision, by the way, by Hellborn side. It looks like they're going to try to start pushing this mid tower, but that's not going to end too well for them, I feel.
See, the bottom tower goes down for Doctor, so yeah, let's keep a root up. Well, he doesn't have mana for it. It's 150 mana. He's actually not even close right now.
I don't know. They're smoked up behind, trying to bait something, but without the mana on Keeper, I mean, they're just wasting a lot of time here. 4 people committing to this for 30 seconds or so, and 2 Veiled Rots used.
Yeah, Doctor's just freely pushing the bottom lane. Zane's making up a lot of room now, considering the start that he had, so he's going to do some work at that top lane and pick up some nice experience, as well as some gold even. As Doctor...
Something stress enough as well. I mean, it is this push that Hellborn team did on the top tower early on. I mean, they kill 1 tower, but either you have to keep going, or you need to keep picking Scout off, because right now he can keep the lane steady and he can just keep this farming. Soulstealer doesn't have a lane to farm anymore. He has to transition to the forest, and that's fine, but now Cthulhu doesn't have anywhere to go. He's just covering the runes right now, so a little bit iffy. I feel like they should either commit 1 more or not take that tower as early as they did.
Yeah. That replay up of Ophelia right there. Holy crap, those moves.
Yeah, that might be a top 5.
Oh yeah. If that was submitted, I'm sure that would be. So here we are, about just over 10 minutes into the game right now. Again, Gold and Experience pretty close to one another. You got Midas there going up against Midas going up against Bubbles still in the middle lane. It's a similar matchup, but bottom lane, this push getting pretty aggressive here from Reason. Even though Ophelia joins the party, right now it's just Rhapsody and Keeper, but definitely could be more quickly. Cthulhu's making its way over. Magnus puts down a ward of sight. Get some nice vision right there.
No, this tower is going to go down in favor of Reason, I think. No, maybe not, actually. They have very well, or a nice vision, though, on the entire Mint team here. So if they want to pick a fight, they do it on their terms.
Yeah. And actually, Reason going to fall back. So they get a little bit of a reaction out of sync, but Not ultimately pushing it in all the way, of course. Soul Stealer just continues to farm up the top lane. Nearly 500 gold per minute now for Probusk. Let's put it past 500, he says. Right there. So Nullstone is going to be basically finished for him right here. On top of the Steam Boots that he already has, of course. We'll see what Imba Boy goes as far as his pickup. Again, he has the Ring of Sorcery, so maybe the icon here makes sense. But Magnus steps in on Rhapsody. They're going to jump right here, but Root comes out. That's a dangerous spot to dive so far. Rhapsody is going to... Oh, he will die. The Electric Turret kills him, but now Dr. Repulsor in some trouble. As Magnus, he even used the Eruption right there. And it didn't go off in time, so...
What was that all about? I mean, we just mentioned as well. Oh, okay, never mind. Initiation coming here. It was just a bait all along.
Maybe. I don't know if they want to fight this, though. Actually, Dr. Repulsor, he is very low on mana now. I think he had a regen rune, actually, but it got taken off, and he goes down. That's big. Yeah, they that all started, though, because they dove Rhapsody.
I don't know. I mean, we talked about it during the fight that was upcoming earlier when they were pushing that if they want to do something, it's up or it's on their terms. And I mean, they had full vision on the keeper right there. And still, they decided to go for the Rhapsody. They're just way too greedy at this point. Sit back and wait for the Magnus Bulky instead. Try to stack as much as possible. He has to farm that up, and you're in a wonderful position to take that DreamHack qualifier spot. But yeah, these kind of mistakes, I mean, it is gonna cost you. It's so like. Versus a team like Mint, I mean, you just can't afford to do these kind of mistakes because they're going to punish you straight away. I mean, everyone at this level are so fast with those PK, or I mean, those TPs like we see every single time. They come out instantly.
We saw bottom lane, another case of that right there. Magnus was charging in with Ophelia trying to get Rhapsody. Middle lane, no, mine is going to be fine. Doctor got there too late. But the TPs came in, and this time Magnus and Ophelia turn around, though, and you know, so it kind of really almost wasted TPs there. But yeah, as you're just talking about, you know, the quick reactions here at this top tier of play is definitely going to be the case. So Zibe still protecting this bottom secondary tower. Again, it is very low, but now Doctor joins the party again. And by the way, it looks like he is going that icon with the glowstone purchase. And going to start putting some pressure into the defensive tower now, and that should be an easy tower kill. Well, maybe not. Invulnerability. Will it be denied? Is the question. It's so close. It looks like it is actually in the end. Yeah, Ophelia wanted to keep her minions alive, so pulls them back, and they'll just allow them to deny it. But they are going to push the middle lane. So a little bit of a good trade right there.
Yeah, that's actually favorable. I mean, that was well played by Reason. Kind of forcing Mint to choose between towers.
Yeah. 14 minutes in right now. 540 gold per minute for Soul Stealer. You think a portal key is going to be next, or what?
Oh, I would prefer not to, actually. I mean, it's going to give them a lot of momentum and that potential to take team fights offensively, more or less, but I don't see any need. I mean, if you're farming 540 GPM, I feel like, I mean, maybe go for the BKB or something. Because if you get the BKB this early on, I mean, what can the Legion team do? I mean, they literally have no physical damage. Dr. Repulsor is their only choice of hard carry. Or, I mean, Scout, I guess, but he's not really going to have that role in this game. So it's up to Dr. Repulsor, and he's a lot of magic damage. So getting one BKB is more or less just going to secure you, like, to live in every single team fight.
Yeah.
As well as, you know, escaping from like Magnus or Kelpfield or something, potential ganks.
Top lane. Scout? Nope, those are just illusions nearby, so we'll see. It's getting close to that portal key mark. I mean, so he'd probably purchase it right here if he actually was planning to go for it or not. There we go. He does purchase it, so that's going to be coming out. Yeah, likes the PK, but what that means, of course, is now Mint is more than likely going to try to force the issue here as far as making a team fight happen. They got a good team for that, to be fair, but
they do. They are dependent on the Keeper of the Force ultimate, though, and I think the reason are just as I'm about to say that they probably have a lot of dust and counterwards prepared. I don't see a single anti-invis item on their side. Yeah, they are very dependent on the Keeper ultimate for it to land, because other than that, Midas is most likely going to miss his stun. I mean, it is tricky, as we saw earlier when Tankafet was sidestepping, and the Cthulhu the same. I mean, it's not those solid Lava Surge stuns from Magnus, for example. You need something to actually set it up to secure those lockdowns, so Keeper of the Forest is going to play a big role, and I don't know if that's for a Steamboat. I guess the Cloaks of the Haste is towards that Steamboat, but I would rather see him just rush the Portal Key, especially now when Soul Stealer went for one as well.
Yeah. This definitely could be a fight brewing up here. You see Doctor kind of in the front lines. He's got that icon now. Doesn't have the most team support anymore, though, so he wants to be careful here. And he is going to fall back, it looks like, before he gets jumped by a Portal Key. So good presence of mind by him to get back in time. Unless Cthulhu Font maybe still goes in. He has a chance, pushes the minions, but no. Ophelia is just able to sidestep, as he tends to do lately. Doctor, he gets away. Nice job with the homecoming stone right there. So get away, and now they know at least Cthulhu Font has the Portal Key, and of course Soul Stealer by this time. So not to expect that. What's being delivered to Soul Stealer here? Oh, just a Mystic Vestment, so not that big of a deal.
Very close so far in Golden Experience. Mint having a small experience lead, but it's not going to matter too much at this point. It's going to come down to the initiation and the map vision, I guess. I don't think either team really feels like taking team fights for quite some time. It's just, seeing as it's so even and such an important game, they're just going to play it as safe as possible. I'd rather go for pickoffs than team fights.
How about Zane? He steals the Ancients, and then he leaves a present behind with the Electric Eye to block it, just in case. Yeah, Zane's, 200 and what, 40 gold per minute now? It's level 9, so really has...
He is doing a good job, yeah.
Yeah, he's come back quite a bit.
For a scout as well, who doesn't really have any farming potential, yeah. But once again, I mean, as we've seen in pretty much every single game, I mean, their actions are stacked, and they are not really looking to take it. There's another minute going by now, so... They should look to improve that a little bit at least.
Yeah. Bottom push here from Mint. Gonna see about taking out this first tower. And again, just a first tower. Still only 18 minutes into the game, so I guess not necessarily going to be a free push, but it looks like there isn't going to be a reaction out of reason. Instead, they're going to kind of counter push the middle lane. Keeper of the Forest is here, though. If they have any kind of vision on the Legion's side, they do got Dust, but no Rev Wards or anything like that. So Keeper is going to be pretty sneaky right here. Cthulhu Font, he misses the trample. Bubbles take over. Anyway, Saga the Sea comes out. They're going to turn this on Cthulhu Font, but there's the root for Keeper. No, not these. There's the root. Oh, but the port away, but still he canceled his Soul Burst right there. So at least he saves a cooldown, and Bubbles will get killed. And yeah, that was very close to being almost kind of a wasted Soul Burst, but it was not. And they get the kill they were looking for. So they push bottom, and they get a Bubbles killed on top, and that well played by Mint right here. And, ooh,
yeah.
Zibbe.
They got... Ooh, wait, where's Zibbe? Oh, Congo, alright.
Well, he's at Congo, but he went Alchemist Bones.
What? So it wasn't Steamboat, so I don't know about that one.
It does kill Ophelia minions.
It sure does, but I mean, they already have a Cthulhu Font that serves that purpose.
Yeah.
I feel. And the Soul Stealer, I mean, his ultimate's more or less going to kill all the creeps when he hits level 16 as well. So, I don't know. I would have preferred to have the Portal Key, especially since Probus went for his so early. Yeah. They're going to get Congo at least, so that's a big kill for them.
Ooh,
but, I mean...
He's dead.
Damn.
Good distraction there. I will say, Zibbe was the first one. I feel like, I mean, maybe not the first one in the world. I'm not saying he invented it, but... pick up Alchemist Bones against a Parasite. You know, we were definitely talking about that for quite some time, and now it's become a little bit more understandable. And again, Alchemist Bones did get a buff in the sense that it buffs experience now as well as the gold you gain. So there is a little bit more reason, but yeah, is it worth the 1,900 gold you're spending now to eventually increase that farm throughout the game is the ultimate question, I guess, with the item. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one thing versus Parasite, like you mentioned, but versus an Ophelia, she got 3 of them, and I mean, she tapers off quite a bit. I mean, Bones is pretty good versus when Parasite is in Catapult and Puzzle Box, for example, but you don't really see it using too much when he's like in a Minotaur or something like that. It's just, I don't know, it's not worth picking up an item for a hero that's tapering off soon anyway.
Yeah.
Or soon might be overdoing it, but I mean, he is going to taper off if this goes into the late game, which this game indicates that it is going to do.
Yeah. Shrunken Head is just about finished here on Soul Stealer. He's got the Mighty Blade again, 2,300 gold saved up, so obviously that's going to prove to be a very effective item here. Bubbles ports back here from the middle lane, so if you're the Legion team again, I would be a little bit cautious, and that they are. They're going to start TPing out as well. Looks like
that's a lot of TPs.
Rhapsody was barely able to TP out of time here at the top lane. But she does get back in time. Ooh,
that was questionable, though. Wow. 3 ports, by the way.
Yeah.
For a Rhapsody, and I mean, the tower was not even in deny range or anything like that. So it seemed like, I mean, they were all porting at the same time as well. So it was almost like someone was about to set up a gank, but nope. That's true. You mentioned something about a portal key.
Magnus.
Magnus?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah.
He just got it.
He's gonna need level 11 before it really has too much of an impact. Actually, Tankafat is going for the Bulwark in this game as well instead of Elder Parasite. Thank God for that.
Yeah, this game's a little closer, and yeah, I'm pretty sure the Elder Parasite is more of a trolley item, so. He's going more the correct route here.
Oh, there's the dust. They're going to jump. Magnus Portal Key coming into play.
Jeez. Oh, they stun Cthulhu as well as he went in. That was huge. I don't know what. I think it was a Minotaur.
It was a Minotaur, yeah.
That is big, Soul Stealer, though. He gets an okay Soul Burst off. Again, it's a pretty large radius, but at the same time, it's not going to be nearly enough to finish off kill. So the Soul Burst kind of wasted right there. Soul Burst, again, I'll bring it up again. I always like to bring it up. It's good. It's great for damage, but it does also apply a couple of other effects, such as the minus base damage as well as the movement speed. So it still had a purpose there, but yeah, it wasn't enough to still get kills, obviously. That's the point, and
yeah, we see it right there as well. I mean, Keeper is the one who's getting picked off. He's getting initiated on by the Ophelia, and he wasn't even able to get a single of his minions. So, I mean, it goes so fast that you don't really have the time to use Ultimate Response in those kind of fights. And I think he regrets his decision big time now.
Yeah. Soul Stealer, though, 550 plus gold per minute. You saw right there. Again, 13-0 when he happens to be there. So, again, more great news for Fresh, but Soul Stealer is can be a little deceiving in that sense. It's not rare to see a hero like Soul Stealer, almost like a Salamon. He's not that level necessarily, but of course, this is arguably one of the best farming heroes in the game because of his Demon Hand skill set, of course. So the fact that he has this high GPM when he's been free farming for pretty much all of it isn't too surprising. So whether or not that's actually going to translate into, well, winning the game, of course. And winning all these fights here, but middle lane, it looks like they're starting to group up now, and they feel like pushing it.
Yeah, I mean, the entire forest is warded up by Scout as well. Same's doing a really good job, but that, as you can see, in the enemy forest. Electric eyes all over the map.
Secondary
so
tower.
I guess they feel forced, yeah.
Yeah, you're
to
right.
do something.
I like how the electric guys show up pretty well on the mini-map. There's a lot of things like Parasite when he's in the creep and stuff you can't really see. But those electric eyes, I mean, they're...
Even when he's in your team, you can't find him.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Ooh, jump on a Doctor. Doctor's locked down completely, and he goes down. He stepped a little too close. And they take big advantage. He's not buying back.
Wow, no buyback. That's
He just got a second Arcana, working towards a Hellflower. So Bubbles will kind of distract a little bit, but... That's costly. That is big.
They don't even have a TP on Magnus.
Yeah, he got a little too close for comfort right there. And I know it's a Doctor, but there's obviously reasons why, even if you're a hero like Dr. Pulse, you shouldn't be that close. For no reason, ultimately. I mean, there was no reason for him to be that close. So here goes the push in the middle lane, going further towards the melee racks. Scout, he already used a marksman shot, kind of just to poke in there, doing a little bit of harassment, of course, but not nearly enough to scare them off. Bubbles, Kelfield, they catch also their Magnus rush from top, but he gets the shrunken off. He uses the Soul Burst as well, and Magnus didn't stand a chance. Doctor is up. He's not going to fly in just yet, though, as the shrunken head is still wearing off on Soul Stealer. So, yeah, the shrunken head on Soul Stealer, there was no way they were going to get a kill right there with that on him. And about to pause coming out here now by this Legion team, so maybe, I don't know if it's about talking over or something actually DC'd, though, but...
Yeah, not too sure. But, yeah, I mean, Magnus died, but, I mean, they hold off the racks, so in the end, I mean, it was just a try to buy some time and save that melee racks, and, I mean, that was successful, so one racks, or, I mean, one base tower down, I mean, it's not optimal, but at least they cut the losses quite well there. I feel like if Mint would have committed 100%, they could have easily taken the racks. But of course, you never know for a fact that if Doctor has a buyback or not. So
yeah,
they had to play it the way they did, and in the end, I mean, just solid defense from Legion. They are behind now. They are, but there's still a lot of time for comeback in this game.
Yeah, that's definitely a big mistake, but it really wasn't the most costly, is I think kind of what you're getting at there. So that's definitely the good news, if any, to take from that for Recent Gaming. But
oh, look at this, though.
Yep, the fake fallback, cut through the front, goes in, catches Ophelia, did not catch Doctor, though. Doctor's able to skirt away, and now he's going to look to do some good damage. Pulls in Cthulhu Fall. Protected Melody, however, is going to save him, and nobody dying throughout the whole exchange right there. Magnus was dead from earlier, but they will get the melee racks, and they will fall back from there. So they get what they do in kind of in a sense, really. Actually, the death earlier on Doctor does hurt them in the end.
That was well played by them.
And another portal key. This one on Keeper. So 4 out of the 5 heroes have the portal keys now. Coming out
Ice
here.
Brand onto Midas. That's
wow,
a weird one. Why does he need that?
Don't know. I mean, I guess it's going to eventually be a Frosto Skull, but yeah, that seems like an odd item on a hero like Midas.
Yeah, really odd. I mean, it is Kraken and he loves to go it on Flux, but I mean, that's understandable because if you ultimate someone, or if you Flux ultimate, you're gonna apply the Frostwall Skull to everyone in the enemy team. But here on Midas, like, they don't really have a carry either. Oh, Cthulhu. Oh, that grip.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool with the animation. He's like, I'm going to charge away. No, getting pulled back in. And
It looks so cute as well because, I mean, it looks just like the Cthulhu is, you know, running away for its lives, but it's not quite getting away. You know, it's screaming.
Yeah, that Cthulhu character, the Destroyer of Worlds. So cute.
Yeah, exactly. That trample sound as well. Like.
Krake, 350 plus GPM, 51-4 record, formerly, of course, BMG. So, yeah, he's that's not much GPM either, and only 350, but
Tankafet is in trouble here.
That's good news. Tankafet is in a lot of trouble.
They're not eating that tank or Catman Champion, even though he has the bones.
Doesn't want to waste it.
Yeah. He could have used the ultimate to get an easy kill, but deciding not to. Maybe he wasn't sure if he had backup or not.
Yeah. In the end, he gets away, so get away once again by Tankafet there. Scout's actually getting close, so he has enough now for a Shrunken Head. Just purchase the pattern. Get a Shrunken Head and get the Brutalizer on top of that. He can actually be pretty useful in these fights then.
Yeah, versus that Soul Stealer ultimate, which takes some time to load up. Yeah, it can be very effective, especially those first out attack where you gain plus 300 attack speed when you get out of Vanish.
Yeah.
It's going to help that proc of his. I'm not sure what you would do if you were in Legion right now. I mean, Soul Stealer is looking scary, yes, but at the same time, you can't really do too much. You can try to get some kind of pickups, but with 4 portal keys on a Hellborn side, that's like impossible, more or less. I mean, if you get a kill, you're gonna get killed in return. So.
Yeah, I mean, quick to react. Oop! Oh, almost like they were jumping Scout, but that just happened to be in the same area. He, of course, is Invis and going around, look for opportunities. We'll find an Illusion Soul Stealer, but.
Those electric eyes are still up, by the way.
Yeah, they're still blocking the camp. That's true. That goes to show you how much they've cared about like their camps here, as far as killing off the creeps. Not really too concerned, I guess. And
nope.
That's definitely a power of Scout, though, the electric guy. And again, the biggest thing to note about the electric guy is that it is physical on the silence. So even with the Shrunken Head on Soul Stealer, yeah, goes through and. Perhaps catch him as he tries to jump in and Soul Burst. Goes the top tower, though. Now 2,400 more gold on Soul Stealer. Geometer's Bane definitely in the works here. Hellflower finished on Dr. Repulsor. Another one's going to be coming on Bubbles very shortly. Just needs the one more Arcana. And it is a level 11 Magnus now, too, so potential here. In fact, at the bottom lane.
Bottom.
Yeah, here we go. The Eruption being channeled. Are we going to see TPs coming in maybe to the tower? Oh, jeez. Midas is so beefy, though.
Damn.
Wow. They didn't even do nearly enough damage.
That was like 60% at tops.
Yeah, he has.
I thought they were going to get that kill for sure, but hey.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't even have vestments. I mean, that was just simply him, the life pool. It's just too much to handle.
Yeah, he is close to 2k HP, so I guess.
Yeah.
And he's a strength hero, so I guess we underestimate his tanky presence a little bit.
Just a little.
Look at this now, though. Electric Ion actions as well. I mean, now they really need to pick up a Bondi.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be becoming a real issue.
Yeah, they're doing Kongor, not again the craziest Kongor killing team though. Staying alive pretty well right here, but it's going to start dwindling down. And Scout, now if you're Scout, you don't run in there thinking that, oh yeah, no, I'm good, I'm invis. Of course, any good team would have a Rev 4 down, as Mitten does, and have to be careful about that. But they want to contest.
Oh my god, this is such a big fight.
Here we go. Oh, Cthulhu Funk goes at first in the background. Though Scout, he goes in, gets the token. No, he did not. Soul Stealer got it. He pops out the Soul Burst, and Magnus dies in the background. Meanwhile, over here, kind of split fights going on. Nobody dead on the side of Mint yet. Scout is able to get away initially. Not for long, though. Beautiful Demon Hand to finish him off, and they still want more. They're not going to get it, though, as Doctor will ludicrous speed away. But they did get the 3 in Scout, Magnus, and Ophelia. And now with the token, here comes a massive push here from Mint. They win that fight big time. And
oh yeah.
Gonna cost them more.
Not much to say about that. I mean, it was this Legion team trying to force that Kongor. They didn't want the Hellborn team to get it, obviously, because they are in a disadvantage, and I know for a fact it's not going to get easier for them to necessarily defend in base. But in the end, Hellborn team just a little bit too tanky with those BKBs and the Keeper of the Forest armor and Cthulhu in the front. Rhapsody on top of that. Protected Melody wasn't even used in that fight, but he had it available if it were to come to that point.
See, Bubbles is going to be enough to at least prevent them from pushing further into the base. But yeah, more damage done here by Mint and cleaning out some resources as they make their way through the Legion jungle. You got Soulseer now hitting that 600 gold per minute mark, and that's showing, of course, the Geometer Speed now, and 16 more 100 golds saved up as well. 3,200 gold on Keeper. Still sitting with those little red booties as he does.
Doesn't really need anything else, to be fair. I mean, Steam Boots, he doesn't need extra stats from it. Oh my god.
Well, Scout got the courier killed. Yep. He's going to die in return, and even Doctor might be in trouble now. Uh-oh. Cthulhu Fani lands the trample. Team support is here, but you don't want to feed more. Magnus line's done. It does stop them big time. Magnus will end up dying with... Oh, it got the eruption off, actually. Almost got a kill on a Rhapsody, but it wasn't to be. But yeah, this is what I was talking about. I mean, Mint's still going, and now Ophelia's going to be picked up on top of it. Bubbles, he needs to get away. He goes the other direction with the Shell Surf, and he will ultimately get away. But everyone stays alive on the side of Fresh. And we'll see where they go from here, but... And that was all because Scout wanted to pick off that courier. Which he did.
One by one, Reason fell. Yeah, he got it, but in the end, was it really worth it?
Nope.
No, not really.
Not really. And there's the 5th and final portal key. Rhapsody gets one. Every hero has a portal key now.
Damn. Yeah, this is looking really dark for the Legion team. They don't really have that carry that potentially could carry them either. I mean, if they would have had a Dark Leader or something instead of a Doctor, it would have been a completely different game, but Doctor has so much magic damage, and with those BKBs up already on Soulstealer and him approaching like 615 GPM now, there's just no way. If he picks up a damage item like a Wingbow, like how are they ever going to be able to bring him down? Storm Spirit on Midas, and now, yeah, the Portal Key on Rhapsody, like it's just, it won't work.
Freaking Midas, 23, nearly 2,400 life here on him with that Frost of Skull now finished. So, again, we've talked about the idea that the transmute buff that he had, where it deals more damage, even up to 120 bonus attack damage to the target. So, now Frost of Skull isn't necessarily the most attack damage oriented item, but provides a little bit there.
He could have had a Sheep Stick now instead, so I don't know. I would still favor that.
That's boring.
Exactly.
We should get him at Sanitarius next.
Yeah, why not?
Really
you have to pick up something to counter the Parasite on Ophelia, or pay him back for the last game.
Yeah. There we go.
Right, here we go. This might be actually last team fight approaching.
The last stand here. Possibly Legion team. Imba Boy kind of going in. They do have that Dr. Ophelia combo, though, as they remind us there. Gets sent back, so yeah, that is something that Mint will have to deal with as they're pushing into the base here. And by deal with, I mean just accept, really. There goes the tower, though. Doctor flies back in. Eruption being channeled. He's going to go in, actually. Ooh, he doesn't stun, though. He didn't have mana up. That's brutal. He did not have mana for a follow-up stun. He does barely get enough there, but yeah, that made it awkward. He actually had a pretty good chance to initiating right there. Bubbles, oh, he can't get the kill. Now he's in trouble. Nope, other way. Oh god, Hellflower has applied, and he goes down. This is just all over the place here. For a reason, it's just sloppy.
Oh yeah, this third game, it looked a lot like the second game of Mint, actually. The draft was just so weird.
Scout actually gets a pick. Magnus is able to stun right there. Doctor looking to finish off Rhapsody. We'll get the kill, but at what cost here? Doctor, he goes down. Root comes out. Only got, oh no, I did get Ophelia as well, and she may end up falling. You see Scout, he still wants more. Magnus stuns the other direction. Doctor buys back, though. They're going to clean up on a keeper at least, and maybe more. Oh, the big Soul Burst. And Probusk with the hat trick. Let's make it a quad kill. Let's make it an annihilation, he says. GG, well played. Game 3 and the series goes to Fresh. They're going to DreamHack Summer 2015. Mint going. Reason will have to try again. They beat the big dogs in Sync Esports, but they come up short against Fresh. Congratulations to Fresh. I'm sure that that's got to feel pretty good, knowing that's out of the way. And they'll be your #1 seed going into the DreamHack event as well. That is crazy.
I would never expect that to happen. I felt like they looked really unstable going into this event, but I mean they made some roster changes as well. I mean, Kraken definitely bringing some insight. You can tell. I mean, they have been looking really damn good this last 2 days, and they are definitely deserving this #1 seed.
Yeah. That was fun to watch once again. And you know, this is a team, too, where, and not to take away from Reason Gaming, but what was Fresh thinking in that Game 2 draft again, knowing what is on the line here, and they clearly tried something different. It did not work out at all. Reason Gaming answered it, and they won that game, fairly easily in the end. And you're kind of saying to ourselves, well, now this is it. It's coming down to this. Win here, and for either one of these teams, and they're going on. But Mint answered the challenge, definitely. And they come through in a fantastic effort here. So, again, another congratulations to them, and feeling good, I'm sure, and, again, going to be that #1 seed. So it's going to be interesting that moving forward here. So the first qualifier down. Again, 4 more to come. But we know at least one team now that is going to be going to DreamHack Summer 2015 here. Again, especially for a team that they started the Deadeye Bounty League as well, of course, on what was it, on Tuesday, but they lost 3-0 to Nullstone. And so a lot of people were like, okay, Fresh is definitely has some things to look at. But again, Krake joining them, formerly of BMG, and clearly he's been a bit of a boost as well, I'm sure, as far as experience goes especially. Nothing against Labyrinth, but, Krake, a very good player himself, so.
Sometimes it just comes down to a moral boost as well. I mean, like a fresh start. Just feel like, something new is happening. You want to, leave the past where it belongs. You want to jump in forward, take the step, and I mean, obviously it worked out very well, very, very well. I mean, they just play their game all the time throughout the entire event, and coming out on top, very well played.
Yeah. All right, so no, I don't want to wrap up just yet.
Interview?
Yeah, I want to try to get an interview here. I'm messaging around, seeing if anyone's interested. So we'll see about grabbing an interview here again and kind of getting some reaction. Like I said, it's a pretty big deal, I think it's safe to say. It's DreamHack after all, and it's the first time we're going to be back in over a year here. So must be a pretty cool feeling. What is that about? I don't get it. All right, let's do this. We're gonna go on a short break, guys. I'm gonna look to get an interview set up though, and then we'll bring you back with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back. Obviously, wrapping up here as far as matches go, but we'll look to get somebody from Fresh, I'm sure, and get an interview going to talk about the series though and everything else. So, stay tuned, guys. Interview coming up next. right. I believe I got it figured out here. So let me go ahead and give him a call here. In 1 second. Drag him in. Okay, we're going to be joined by Zibe here as soon as he's good to go. Of good old fresh now. Going to DreamHack, baby. Woof. Zibe, you there?
Yes. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. Very good, even.
I would expect so. Pretty big victory here, and you guys are going to DreamHack now, so that must be a pretty good feeling, especially knowing what you guys have been through and everything. So overall, the team's pretty happy, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thailand was a very, very bitter event for us, to say the least. We got to the finals again.
Yeah.
And eventually the guys we lose to end up winning the entire thing. So that was, yeah, we got nothing out of that thing, right?
No.
We didn't get the slightest gold coin even.
No.
For getting second in that qualifier.
I'll give you 5 gold coins after this interview if that helps.
Really?
Maybe. We'll talk about it.
I'd appreciate it.
That's a lot of gold coins, so.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but I can understand that. I mean, really, it's knowing that you're so close and then you end up losing to the champions by losing to them in the qualifier. So, yeah, it's that's done with though. But you know what I was glad to see is that you guys again stuck together, knowing how close you were. You guys still stuck together. You're playing in the off season here, and now you're the first team to qualify for DreamHack. So, I gotta. Well, let's start with this. Krake here, a new part of the team. Of course, Labyrinth formerly he replaced Labyrinth here. What was the deal with that? Like, when did you guys first hear that Krake was going to be available, and how did that work out?
We were thinking things weren't really working out for us for a long time, just with the atmosphere in the team, when we felt like we were limited in the lineups we could play. And it was just we have given Labyrinth a lot of shit talk for a long time, and we felt like that was screwing up with his confidence as well as our team's confidence. So we felt like we just had to take action. So in the same sequence as we kicked Labyrinth, suddenly we realized that Mighty Marcus was going to join BMG. And so we realized that, yeah, Krake is going to be open up for the taking. And that was a no-brainer choice, really.
Has he been? I mean, how's the synergy been with him and you guys? How has he improved you guys? I mean, how has he helped?
Well, we feel like we were able to team fight throughout the entire game for the first time in 6 months, really.
All right.
Like I don't know if it's just the fact that we swapped out a player and are more confident now with a different atmosphere and a different attitude, or if it's a thing about between Krake and Labyrinth, how they are as players. I can't tell that for sure, but I know that it's working out really well right now.
How happy are you that you did not have to play Sync in these finals? That you got to play Reason instead, as they were able to defeat Sync? What was that? Well, let's be honest. I mean, were you a little bit like, okay, well, that's good at least, or did you really not care?
I'm not sure. Sync has not been looking that good, that confident. I mean, they did beat Reason Gaming 3-0 in the Deadeye Bounty League.
Yeah.
So I thought Sync is back to normal, I thought. But the drafts are a little shaky. They're not as played together anymore. The sync isn't still around, you know? Mm-hmm. They're not synchronized anymore.
That's fair. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that progresses moving on to the offseason here. But, again, they fell short, and you guys took advantage of it. That's what matters. Now, speaking of drafts, that second game draft, man, what the hell was that? I got to know. What were you guys thinking?
We got a little ahead of ourselves. The Jeremiah, I think the 3 first tiers were fine. It was greedy, sure, but we could have made it work, and we did in the early parts of the game. The Jeremiah and the Disham had nothing to do with it. But later on, the Demented Shaman and the Jeremiah just didn't manage to get anything done for the entire game. Mm-hmm. We got a little ahead of ourselves in the draft, and on top of that, when we started taking a lot of fights, I went up stupid tablet on Puppet Master too. But instead of just dodge, I thought we were gonna fight. I felt like we were gonna fight, and we had an opportunity to do so.
Okay.
But we just ended up throwing away a couple fights and throwing away the game in the process.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously at least you won the game 3 and ultimately the series. And again, that goes back to doesn't matter. So, going back to DreamHack, you looking forward to meeting these guys on LAN and everything? Or have you met them all before? I assume that's going to be a new process.
Not everyone. There's going to be 5 teams, and there's a lot of new players who have never been at LANs before.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm going to be happy to meet all the guys I already know.
What about your team specifically?
Oh, that's going to be exciting. I have met Cracky before. He's a good friend with Hansken, and I was pretty close to the Lions boys, so I met him a couple of times. And of course, ProBusk has been on LANs before. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be exciting to meet Serenia and Iceland Gogo for sure.
Nice. Snooey, do you have any questions for Ziba here?
Yeah, I have a few actually, if you don't mind sticking
sure.
here for a little bit. First of all, I mean, just congratulations to taking the first seed of the DreamHack Summer 2015. I mean, it must be an amazing feeling. I can't even imagine what you guys are going through, and I would assume that it's a little bit of a surprise for you guys as well, seeing as you looked a little bit tilted going into this or this event. But as you mentioned, I mean, you got a new, exactly. I mean, you got a new fresh start versus, or now with the new roster pickup here on track. I mean, a moral boost definitely. And you also mentioned the fact with the team fights that you guys were actually able to take team fights on a different level now, and that showed big time. It really felt like you guys were learning and growing during the series, and I mean, it was really interesting to see. So I feel like, I mean, looking forward to see how DreamHack evolves, I'd say. But I wanted to ask you about something as well, and like you were, I mean, it's about the specific series here. This was actually the first time on record that you guys were going up against Recent Gaming, and it happened to be in a grand finals on top of that. And just before that, they defeated Sync Esports. You mentioned that Sync Esports hasn't been as strong as before, but still, I mean, were you worried at all? I mean, were you afraid of Recent Gaming going into this series?
Of course, a little bit. Recent Gaming has a reputation of being somewhat of a scrim champion. They have a very good record in scrims
I
against
agree,
pretty
100%.
much all teams around. So of course I wouldn't say worried, but we of course respected a lot of heroes. Like we didn't want to see Puppet Master on Immaboy, for example. We didn't want to see Parasite, and we made sure those heroes stood out of it. I feel like we came in with a mindset to win still. We had the momentum, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear,
Coming
the
into
attitude.
it. Yeah, we were really happy. We finished off a team disband in 2 really quick games, and we got to relax. Meanwhile, Recent Gaming was up versus Sync in a 3-game series, and as soon as it was done, it was straight up against us. So yeah, they were probably a little exhausted too. And that felt really nice. We felt like, okay, we're going to have the momentum against these guys now. Even though they beat Sync, I felt like we had the momentum coming in.
Yeah. You guys had a great run overall, amazing series, a lot of upsets if you were to look at all the teams. And I feel like the competitive scene has been growing an insane amount since the end of Season 3. Is that something that you guys are feeling as well, in Mint?
What?
How have other teams been looking? Like, do you think, as far as a lot of other good teams out there, is the scene actually pretty healthy right now with that, you think?
Well, it is stable. There are teams around. There are new players coming in, and like Team Disband is a team consisting of almost 5 previously inactive players. Mm-hmm. And there is competition going in. Sync is down from the pedestal now. They lost their first series in 6 months again. The last series, they didn't lose a series in Thailand.
That's true, yeah.
So the last series they lost was against BMG in Cycle 4.
That's a good point.
Good point there. Yeah. One last question to finish it off as well. If you were to predict next qualifier, now you guys can sit back and relax, just take it easy for the rest of until June, more or less. I hope you guys still practice and do your homework, obviously, because I want to see you guys fight your hearts out at DreamHack as well.
But I bound a league.
yeah, that's true. So you can at least enjoy some tournament games there. But who would you predict to take qualifier number 2?
I think Sync are favorites still. They just came back from Thailand. They must be a little exhausted. They're getting back together. They're playing up again. They're gonna get back to their usual level, I feel like. Then we got BMG. I'm not sure. They're looking a little shaken.
Yeah, that's
But
actually an interesting
I
point as
wouldn't
well.
set BMG to win. I wouldn't set BMG to win. I would set Sync
Do
or
you think
Recent
that's
Game.
do you think that's like a? I mean, you mentioned before like Krake became available just as you guys kicked out Labyrinth, but I mean, do you find that Mighty Marcus is a good field for BMG?
I think that those guys have stuck together for such a long time and they've had the same sort of playstyle for all this time too. And I think that is backfiring a little bit for them, swapping out a player like that. Either they have to redefine their playstyle now, or they have to, or Mighty Marcus has to adjust. And that might be a hard thing to do. He's a very aggressive player.
Answer.
He's a little stuck in his ways. He might be a little stuck in his ways. I won't say that he is. But someone has to adjust, either the other four or Mighty Marcus.
All right.
Thanks for that. I'm all good.
Cool.
You got anything else breaking?
Yeah, well, just that's a good point about BMG. It's there is still a little bit of time here. Obviously, there's 4 more qualifiers ultimately, but that was one of the things they definitely had going for them was that they were a very stable roster. So a little bit of a mix-up. We'll see how that plays out for them in the long run. But again, going back to you guys, Mint, you guys are your first team to qualify the first seed, and again, congratulations there. Any shout-outs you got here, Zibe?
Shout out to my team for playing amazing today. Shout out to my family who's watching. Shout out to my fans, if I have any. Shout out to Fuzzy Sloth. I'm sorry, dude. I just had to do it. I just had to do it, Fuzzy. No flame. And shout out to Cat Guys for being stupid. Thanks.
Always good. All right, thanks again, Zibe. Always a pleasure. And again, obviously, looking forward to seeing you in Jönköping, Sweden, as well as the Deadeye Bounty League. There are still other matches and tournaments here, so.
Same, Ricky. Same.
All right, take it easy, man. Joined by Zibe. Again, I've Mint there. So, yeah, good to hear from him always. And, again, you can tell that definitely overall very excited, I'm sure. And it's got to be a good feeling knowing that that's taken care of now. And, you don't have that pressure on you. So, boy, boy. It is, who saw this one coming? Nobody, I'm sure.
I sure didn't.
If they told you they did, then they're lying to you, honestly. So. That's nothing against Mint, but obviously Sync and BMG would no doubt have to be the initial favorites in this qualifier. So it is not that case, though. Mint, again, they are the first team, and deservingly so. So, again, another congratulations to them. We're going to start wrapping up, though. That's pretty much going to do it for this weekend here, Snooey. So, Snooey, again, thank you for joining me, man. And I know got this casting competition coming up. Guys, officially, I've had some people asking about that, the newest next caster, as it's called. We're going to be starting that this week, actually. And again, the process here over the next couple of weeks throughout the Deadeye Bounty League, the next qualifier and whatnot, going to have different co-casters on. So, Snooey, you've been a great help here, but we're gonna change things up throughout the next couple of weeks here with other co-casters and whatnot, and we're gonna officially announce the top 8 finalists here. Probably by earlier on Tuesday, I think it's going to be, was my guess. So look forward to that, and then going from there. I'm going to have some fun with that, of course, and eventually just ultimately about watching some good Han, though, is what matters in the end. So, Snooey, again, really do appreciate you joining me, man. Definitely is a good cast in here. And final words, any shout-outs you want to make wrapping up here?
Thank you for having me. First of all, I'm glad that I was able to take a part of this amazing event. It really feels like it was the end, but it was really just the beginning. I mean, this is one of 5 qualifiers, and it already feels like we have evolved big time since season 3. I mean, lots of new teams coming in, and everyone picking up the meta a little bit more aggressive play style. So that's great if you're a fan of watching Heroes of Europe competitively. A lot of more active play styles coming into play, and I'm just glad overall that we got to enjoy this weekend. It was a lot of fun.
We did. I agree. Can't agree more. What a weekend it was. So many entertaining matches, so many crazy results, and ultimately finish it off with a pretty crazy one on top of that. Again, Mint, a.k.a. Fresh, they are your DreamHack Qualifier 1 champion. So going to DreamHack, got to focus on the Deadeye Bounty League. But again, that means the other 7 teams are going to be qualified for the next qualifier. They'll be here next weekend, as well as being joined by an 8th and final team. And looking at that real quickly, let me see if that actually is finalized. It is. Team Grief is going to be the 8th and final team joining the next qualifiers. That's, of course, Charlie, Knox, Haxer, and Fine, those guys. So I can't say I'm too surprised to see that roster there, and going to be qualifying here, and going to be interesting to see how they fare. And what is the next DreamHack qualifiers and moving forward. So they must be feeling pretty good knowing that, now there's a good shot for them, and we'll see how that plays out. But, man, so many just newer teams, so many players kind of coming back that were inactive, as Zibby was saying, and it's just, again, going to be a lot of fun to watch. So that's taking place next week. And, again, this week, though, Deadeye Bounty League, Tuesday and Thursday. Times may change around for that, sometimes with the reschedules and whatnot. But I believe right now, for the time being, it looks like it is, set for 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Century Bean Diamond starting on Tuesday. Bad Monkey Gaming going to be playing the same Fresh team, actually. They're going to be a best out of 5 for the Deadeye Bounty League. That is set for Tuesday, guys. That should be a great matchup for several reasons. I mean, and being a best out of 5 on top of that, that's going to be good. That's going to be some good Heroes and Newer. So the off-season, man, we're having a lot of fun with this. Deadeye Bounty League, DreamHack qualifiers. A lot of good on coming our way over these next several months and so. Anyways, that is going to start wrapping things up. Shout out to Zooey once again. Shout out to Quincy, and shout out to you guys for tuning in. We'll see you on Tuesday. Congratulations once again to Fresh on taking on the first qualifier. Until next time, guys, tuning out from Hawkcast.